microphone because I'm a rocker. Don't get your motor running. So try not to do that, since we do have someone on audio here who can help me out a little bit. I'm Mike O'Neill. I lived in Denver the last 20 years, but about 5 years ago I had to go back to Minnesota to take care of family matters with my parents. Anyone in that boat? Hospice and all that kind of stuff. So I've been through it. I'm in Minneapolis still, but I plan on coming back to where I lived for 20 years. And I live right around the corner here at the Windsor and Brooks Tower. Anyone know Brooks Tower? Windsor's better. They got an indoor hot tub and everything, all right? But if you live the downtown scene here, Minneapolis downtown scene where I live, nothing like this at all. I close my eyes and I try to pretend that, I'm back in Denver, and I open my eyes and I'm not. Although we held a good Super Bowl, don't you think? How we do, huh? Minnesota nice, do you know what that is? If you ever met anyone from Minnesota, is it true? It's got to be, right? Got to be. Now, Green Bay Packer nice is not so nice, and Philadelphia Eagles nice is definitely not so nice and stuff. Well, anyway, I wrote a book on LinkedIn. I got a lot of numbers and stuff, but that's not why we're here. I did hit 30,000 connections in 2009, the maximum, and I passed Barack Obama on the way up. Kid you not, we were on the screen at the same time. Because you used to be able to sort by number of connections, so you could see where you were in the world ranking. There was an official world ranking at one time on LinkedIn. You could sort by this and see. And I was number 10 at the time. So I have a screenshot on some computer I don't have anymore. You got that right? Where's that screenshot? Where'd you go? All right. Nonetheless, I'm going to teach you how to use some forms of automation today. There's so many topics we could talk about, and I'm not here to talk about a topic you've already heard about. Everyone's going to learn really cool new stuff today. The most advanced people here are going to learn cool new stuff today. I've ripped out all the things that you've seen and heard before with a few exceptions. Okay? So automation is a key part. The reason LinkedIn is so important is it's where the B2B people are. It's where they are. There's nobody in the B2B world that's not on LinkedIn unless something went wrong in their life. Something could have, right?
You never know.
Got kicked off. I did something wrong. I'm divorced and I don't want my husband to ever find me, or something like that. If you want to be hidden, being on LinkedIn's not a good idea. Do you agree? Not a good place to go hide, right? Facebook's not either, all right? So one of the real reasons that LinkedIn is so attractive to folks like myself and Scott Hickey and Greg and many of you here is that it's a great big database full of free data that's updated by users, so it's accurate. Is that good? Yes. Have you been to data.com and any sort of these places? You find out they're not here anymore, right? Or anything, right? An email address is good for how long, right? Especially a work email address, not so good. Right? Gmail accounts, different story. You got my Mike O'Neill Gmail account will always be my Mike O'Neill Gmail account. No one else is ever going to have it, right? But if you have a company email address, you may not. Right? Yeah, my US West one was replaced by my AT&T one, was replaced by my cable and wireless one, was replaced by my internet one, and that was 14 years ago. So if you had any of those addresses for me, they're worthless. But LinkedIn data is good. Really good. Okay? So there's different types of accounts you have on LinkedIn. Let's step back for a moment. If you're on Facebook, are there different kind of accounts on Facebook?
Yes.
What kind of accounts are there?
Business, fan pages.
Those aren't different accounts.
Oh.
They're different media types.
Okay, so just business and then personal.
Yeah, there may be a business account of some. If you're advertising, there is, right? Certainly there is and stuff. LinkedIn has that as well. Twitter doesn't really have a special account. LinkedIn does. So let's talk about it. This is really important. Everyone has LinkedIn, no matter what account type they have. Let me repeat that. Everyone, if you have some account other than LinkedIn, you still got LinkedIn. It's the building block, right? And everything else just adds to it. And I'm talking today about Sales Navigator in a really big way. All right? There's a bunch of others. Since Microsoft bought them, there's a whole bunch more probably coming. But we're just going to talk about LinkedIn.com and particularly Sales Navigator because it's new to you, right? You don't know much about it. What if I asked you what's a lead on Sales Navigator?
It's not new to me, but I'm not very good with
All right, I asked the wrong person. You see, there are some advanced people here. You get it? Right? We got a few. We got a few here, right? Okay, so LinkedIn is free. Did you hear? And everything I described so far is free. And if you want to pay a little more money, or maybe it's a lot of more money, $60 gets you some extra stuff that you're already getting. Let's go over that again. Some extra stuff that you're already getting. That's different than new stuff that you're not getting now. All right? Because this dance is the Sales Navigator dance. New stuff you couldn't do, not just more stuff that you're already doing. All right? And you'll see here today what I mean by that. You get more with it. Have you seen the Geico commercial where they're pumping iron? They get more. Hey, Brohim. Hey, potato chip. And at the end, he's got all these muscles. Have you seen that? I took it out of here. It's in here. I play it, but it's always AV issues with it and stuff, so it's not there. But at the end, the key point is you get more with Geico, right? And you get more with Sales Navigator. Silly how much more you get. All right? So if you're thinking about paying, if you had to get to the point where you got to buy something, that's the one to buy. Next up here, I used to run an association, Integrated Alliances here. Anyone been to one of our holiday parties maybe, live bands and stuff? I see a few faces around. Yeah, Flo. In doing that, I had lots of partnerships like Greg has lots of partnerships. So a partner could be someone that you sell products to. Could be someone who helps you sell products to other people. Could be a referral source. There's all kinds of things that could be partnering. Let's go through how LinkedIn and partnering works. Because when customers are buying something that just about any one of us sell here, they're buying more than just the burger we're selling. They're buying something that has all of this stuff. Somebody's got to put this together. Someone's a general contractor. The general contractor does well. I used to do really well as a general contractor. I got kickbacks from everyone. Oh, here's your $100, Mike, for that lead that came from the cabling deal and stuff. And it was above board. Everyone knew it was just like tips. I never worked in a job where I got tips, but that might be what tips is like, right? You get more. Oh, that's fun. I wish I could play that video. So think about this. I'll say it right here. You see it right here? Let's say it with me. All together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What goes well with what I sell? Everyone can just about say that, right? I'm going to go through a couple examples here. We'll kind of see what it means. I used to sell this stuff. I sold file servers. No one ever gets to see them other than the engineers who unpack them and put them underneath the tables or in the racks. They're behind the scenes there. But when you sell this stuff, sometimes you sell other stuff too. And if it's not stuff you sell, it's stuff that somebody else sells, and there's an opportunity, a lead, and leads like to be returned, right? Oh, you gave me that cabling deal. Here's a server deal, all right? And it always comes down to money. Someone's either got to approve the money or borrow the money. None of this stuff happens without money. So people who hang out with CFOs know that bit, right? The CFO decides whether we're going to get Dell or Lenovo, not the IT guy. Have you heard of that before? I ran into that all the time. I thought I had the deal. I had the deal. But the finance guy bought it from someone else. They just added it to their IBM contract where they already had financing and they had to use IBM laptops instead. That was a real example. Yeah? So the money guy is the one to watch. So if you're partnering with a company that looks a little bit like Motorola, not really Motorola, but a little bit like Motorola, right? We're talking partnering. We can find other partners a little bit like Motorola. Who would be one like Motorola?
Old school.
Nokia, Intel, anyone, any chip, AMD, any 3 letters, right? NVI. Anyone heard of NVI before? It's a big story there. LinkedIn can help you find folks just like this, see? So LinkedIn knows what people have on their profiles and what they're liking and what they're doing and all. They're doing all that stuff that Facebook did to try to get votes for somebody. And they're doing that to try to get traffic to people's profiles and get the buyers and the sellers together. And this is how they do it. I can find folks just like these folks according to LinkedIn. Push the little button. By the way, it's only Sales Navigator. See, you don't see a LinkedIn sign there. If you see a LinkedIn logo, you'll know you can do it for free. Can't do that for free. All right. So I'm going to go over some quick searching. This is one of the very big elements of LinkedIn. Part of this you might have heard. Much of this you haven't. I'm going to go kind of fast. All right. All right. This is lightning round a little bit. This is called the keyword here. Internet of Things. You see it has quotes around it. Multiple words. Got to have quotes around it if you want to find it. All right. Otherwise, you'll find, without those three words together, you'll find the whole internet, won't you? Pretty much, right? Pretty much got it all. Now, in searching on LinkedIn.com, you've got to put any of these here. Put your keywords in first. Let me share the frustration of not doing that. You put in job titles, you get it all right. You put in all these other things I'm going to show you here, and then all of a sudden, you put in a keyword and it blanks everything out. Do you see why I gave you that tip, right? You'll learn it one time, but I just helped to make it so you didn't have to learn it one time. As soon as you do, it just blanks everything out. So blank out the blank stuff. All right, so we put that in first. Next, we're going to search on job titles. And job titles, a set of titles here. I'm going to go kind of quickly through this. All right, how does that look? Get that? Ors and ands. Got a little quotes in there. If there's someone you don't like, you can kick them out of bed. I don't like retired people. You're out of here. The more you do, the more not you get out there, and the better it gets. You're kicking all these folks out, and you get something really, really nice when you get all the ors and ands and everything going. All right, the next thing in your searching is what industry people are in. There's 147 industries, and nobody's ever needed more than half of them. So you can wipe out half of the folks that never need you and focus on the half that do that quickly. All right, pretty simple. A lot of check boxes, though. I said there's 147, and you got to check them one at a time. All right. Locations matter a lot, where people are. The difference between Denver and Boulder and Fort Collins and Greeley and those areas, if you really need to be granular about that, then you need some of the things that Sales Navigator can do, because it can get really granular. I'm not going to dive deep into it, but if you need to target like that, you just can't say Denver or just United States. If you need to be granular, you need the Sales Navigator product, because it'll do zip codes, for example. So you put this stuff in the menu, you put your stuff in your keywords, you plug it all into LinkedIn, and hallelujah, there's our search. Okay, this is what things look like a roulette table where you're placing bets out on the table. All right, computer software, there's our Internet of Things at the top, our presidents and stuff. Notice right there? There's more words than the box will hold, but there's a lot of stuff there. This is why you write it in Google Docs. Write this stuff in a Word file or Google Docs and paste it in. You're never going to get a Boolean thing right if you can only see part of it at one time. All right? So LinkedIn has 11 filters, and there's 29 with Sales Navigator. Do you see why on the wrong side? See why I hug this one over here? Because I don't want to spend time chasing people that don't need what I have. I get into trouble when I call on people that don't need what I have. They're the ones who complain. I teach daycare. Why are you reaching out to me? You know, and literally because of the fancy Boolean that I showed you there with the knots and stuff, you can get this pretty good. But still, there's other filters that Sales Navigator has. They use the small, medium, large principle. Okay? Large companies. Here's Quest. No, not Quest anymore. CenturyLink. I'm dating myself, aren't I? I'm kidding. All right, so there's CenturyLink, big badass building, right? How many people call on companies that have 10,000 or more employees? We wish, maybe. Maybe we don't wish. I'm sorry. It's not so fun calling on big companies like that. It's really not. On the other hand, there's really small ones out there, little mom and pop shops. That's Vistaprint, right? They want these people. But somewhere in the middle, what you have is the sweet spot for the size companies we want to work with. And that sweet spot is only available in Sales Navigator. So if you decide, I don't want to call on little companies, and you want software help, Sales Navigator will do that for you. It'll weed out the small ones if you choose to uncheck boxes. All right? There's a few others. Let's say you don't really work with youngsters. or you specifically do. You can choose what's right for you. So there's a lot more. I don't want to get too far into it. I said there's 29 filters. I show you what matters most. This is fast-paced expert stuff. This is not designed to be the big book. I'm going to teach you some automation tools that I use that go well with LinkedIn. That was a LinkedIn lesson. We're done kind of with the LinkedIn lesson. This is the stuff that goes with LinkedIn that makes it easier, faster, better for you. It has more fiber. You know? Makes you regular. Here we go, all right? Here's one of my favorites. It's called Auto Text Expander, all right? And I've got URLs for you. Grab a screenshot if you like from there, if you think you might need this. And I think what Auto Text Expander does, here, I'll wait for a moment. Right there. There's a series of slides here that you just want to grab a screenshot of there. I mean, they're easy words to use. They rhyme sometimes. Okay, so there's Auto Text Expander. So what Auto Text Expander does is lets you create a message library and then instantly trigger and send messages from that library with just a couple keystrokes. So I'm going to wait till you're all kind of done with this. I didn't think it's such a pretty picture, but it's got the URL on it, so we'll dig it. Right? All right, so here we go. I can just type in bracket X and send thanks for chatting. You know, look up here. See the bracket T, the bigger one. So you put a couple characters in, and it sends a bunch of stuff. And you got a little cheat sheet by the side of the computer. You got a post-it note right below your password, right below the password and the login ID for Wells Fargo. You put some of your little codes in here. And this is a free tool. And if you're using this tool on multiple computers, it'll even sync up across multiple computers. Okay? So next up on the freebie is Google Docs. I love Google Docs. Who loves Google Docs? Woo! Yes, that's right. Woo! We love Google Docs. Let me show you why you love Google Docs. Maybe you don't know why you love it so much. All right, so it's all of your office stuff. It's free, it's in the cloud, and it's greatly simplified, and you can co-work on it with other people. So I work with a profile writer on my team. Okay, we work on profiles together. She works with the clients, and on the back end we do stuff together. And I'm a terrible typer, absolutely rotten typer. I fell off a bike. I have an excuse. Fell off a bike on my hands. I hurt my hands. It's true. But so I'm typing away and I'm misspelling stuff, and she's correcting me while I'm going along, and she's putting in words that I didn't put in. Well, that was a better word, Mike. You know, real time, you can do this with this stuff. It's just amazing. So you're going to want to have some files, okay? So here's Google Drive. And in Google Drive, you got some files you're going to use. All right? That's a good one there, by the way. This is a good shot if you're doing shots. These are the kind of files you want to have. All right? Okay, I see a few going up. Up. All right, so beyond that, we can store our messages, our text messages, the invites and the messages we're sending to people, that kind of stuff, in a Google Doc. That's the best place to store it. Every keystroke is backed up in real time. You can go back. There's version control, so you can wipe something out and go back 2 weeks later and go get to what you wiped out. Version control is one great thing. Don't you love version control? Instead of having the book, the file that has a .1, a .2, a .3, a .4, and which one is it? You know, what day did I save it on? Right, Dave. All right. So the other thing we're going to do is, let me go back here, is we're going to plan our searches and put our criteria. We're going to write them down in a Google Doc like this. So do I want a profile for people I require? We generally don't invite folks that don't have pictures in their profile. I'm going to talk to you about some automation tools, and they can help. Okay? Or you could just say there's no picture, no invite for you, you know, if you're going to do it manually. Okay? The next thing is every time you do a search on LinkedIn, with all of that criteria I showed you, those numbers and stuff are embedded in a URL at the top. Save that. Google Doc. It's free. Google Doc, okay? Then you can just go grab it and go run it again. You can go grab it, run it again, change one little thing, and save it again. Change one little thing, save it again. But you get to a point where, you know, it's a drag to check boxes. You got to wait like 8 seconds after every box. You check one box and you go like, It's got to redraw the screen. 8 million people. Okay, I'll push another box, you know. So it's just a little frustrating. This is a really quick way to get back to it. All right. The other thing is when you do messages on LinkedIn, or for the matter, even if you send a Gmail message to somebody or a Facebook message, but this is a LinkedIn class, all of those messages have URLs to them. So your inbox on LinkedIn is going to get really, really full. And there's going to be so much stuff there, you're just not going to find stuff, and you're going to cry. You're going to go, Mike taught me something. I remember now. Mike said I could grab that URL at the top and save it like in a Google Sheet now. You can be in a doc, but generally in a sheet with columns now that says, important message, Frank Thomas. Here's the URL to it. So I can go back and get to it years later. It'll never go away. Are we done with that? No, we couldn't possibly be done with the wonderment of Google Docs and Sheets. I told you I love these things. If you want to keep track of important people, you've got a profile URL here that we can use to keep track of important people. Now in Sales Navigator we have tags and we have leads we can do and stuff. We have things over there, but this works with anybody. Free LinkedIn. Works out really great. We're winding down, okay? This is the big daddy. These are the big daddies here. This is the LinkedIn automation tools. First of all, these tools are going to send messages for us on LinkedIn. They're going to send invitations on LinkedIn. They're going to look at people's profiles on LinkedIn. They're going to do these things to some list that we came up with. Okay, so that targeting we did, we need that here. We created a list now. The list has got 300 people on it. And we're going to go invite 300 people. Or we're going to send messages to 300 people. We're going to visit 300 people. We'll do that probably with some sort of a plan. What do you think? Plan that one out so LinkedIn doesn't shut us down, because they will. Try to invite 300 people and see if you can get on LinkedIn tomorrow. Try it. You won't. Well, you make it on LinkedIn. You won't be able to do much. Okay, because there's limits, and you got to work your way into these things. You start out at 25, and then 50, and 75, and 100, and you work your way on up. Okay, on LinkedIn itself, you really can't send more than 50 to 75 invites a day. Now there's 30 days in a month, okay, but so many per day. Okay, and you can work it up from there a little bit. On Sales Navigator, you're more like 150. You can really get somewhere fast, right? If you're going 150 miles an hour instead of I can't drive 55, right? Got it. So let me show you what these tools are. LinMail Pro, this is the one I recommend the most. LinMail Pro, easy, right? LinkedIn Mail Pro. All right, I know the owner of the company here. I've used this tool for about 3 years. We do LinkedIn work for people, so we log into their accounts and do work for them, use this tool for it. Okay? So on the left here is what it looks like when you're going to send an invitation. In the middle is what it looks like when you're going to send a message, and those are folks you're already connected to. You got to be connected to someone to send a message. And then if you want to visit profiles, it looks like over here. All right? And the tool, you do the search, you do the tool, you say, give me 6 pages of those guys, and it does 6 pages of those guys. There's 25 per page. That's my typical thing. 6 pages, 25, 150. See how it goes. And it has a counter to tell you how many got through. So you don't have to like wonder how many got through there. There's a counter that tells you how many were successful. Okay, so here it is. It's 21 bucks a month. You got to go to linmailpro.com to get to it though. 21 bucks a month. It was 70 bucks. I have a 5-user license. I have a LinManage 5. I have a 5-user license. He upgraded me. I preach for him and he upgrades me. I still got to pay, but I think I've got really a 20-user license. Really nice guy. If you ever get to meet the owner of this company, his LinkedIn profile was taken down. Many of the profiles of folks that run these sort of software companies have had their profiles taken down, and they had to make a choice. He chose his company. All right, next one up is called Duck Soup, D-U-X-S-O-U-P. Pretty much does the same thing. All right. It's also a Google Chrome plugin. It's 15 bucks. Okay. All the actions on Chrome, all the actions with Google. You know, just sign your life away. Pay $50 a year to get the professional version of it. I can have someone on the phone just like that, and they hound you down until you close it out. Someone at Google is responsible, no less, for making sure that trouble ticket gets fixed and closed out, and someone's score and ranking depends on it. So they hound you down until you tell them it's done. Oh, really? It's done. Trust me, it's done. I'm done. Get out of here. All right. So there's one last tool here. This is one that doesn't deal with LinkedIn directly as much. This tool here gets LinkedIn. Gets email addresses from LinkedIn. Now, it gets them from folks that you're not connected to, 2s and 3s, anyone out there, and these email addresses are corporate email addresses. They have a domain name in them, no Gmails, none of that stuff. And they're not always right. Okay, I mean, this is they're usually right. They give you a green thumbs up if it's good, a yellow thumbs up if they think it's good, and then a red thumbs goes the other way. All right, I just use the free version. I get 100 a month. That's good enough for me. If you're really concerted at this here, $49 is a pretty darn good value if you're going to pump out hundreds and hundreds and thousands of these. And you can. All right, adapt.io, by the way, right there. There's the spot, adapt.io. All right. Once again, it's a Chrome plugin and stuff. So this is what it looks like right there. So you're looking at someone's profile, and I'll have that email. Okay. You can also be on a list and say, you know what, I'll take that one, or I'll take all of them. Give me that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. All right, 49 bucks if you want to do the extended stuff. Otherwise, it's free. So that's the program here. This is me. I can help in some ways. I've got a team of folks. It's not just me. Okay, so we do profiles really great. Wrote a LinkedIn profile book, rocked the world with LinkedIn. Great book. It's 8 years ago I wrote it. All right, the sequel's coming. Right, but I was an early author in the LinkedIn world, and profiles were kind of big back then. I do coaching like this, one-on-one, where we sit belly to belly. And in case here, you'd probably be over Zoom or Skype or something like that. My basic coaching program's $1,000. So for $1,000, we work together for 2 months. We do all this stuff that you saw here and a whole lot more. And it takes 2 months. I do train sales team stuff. So I was just here a couple weeks ago training telecom agents. I'm back here working with a Microsoft VAR and reseller May 18th. So I'm back in town again. I'm from the tech space, so these guys kind of like me. And let's see, we can do stuff for you. So we can log into your account for you and actually send the invites and messages and do the targeting if you'd prefer to do other things. Some folks are really into this. It's like so cool, so fun. Some not so. Okay, some less so. Okay, so if you're a less so person, that might be for you. I do have a really neat online learning platform that we just put together with all of this material here, and there's 8 good lessons similar to what you saw here, but deeper stuff. Okay, and it's at salesnavigatortraining.com. So I had to abbreviate stuff to get into my time window here, and I'm right at the end of it. But there's stuff out there, additional stuff that's free, and you can get 50 bucks off if you want to go with the big program out there. With the big program, that's the kind of stuff that generally takes a whole day of training to do. And that's what I'm coming back to do for those VARs and integrators. That's me. So if you want to grab a shot there of how to get a hold of me or something, you can. Or, I'm pretty easy to find, quite frankly. I am full on LinkedIn. But on the way over here, on the airport, I deleted like 100 people. So I have room to add a few people, 29,900 and something. So anyway, thank you everybody. I enjoyed being here for you. Any chance I can